Hey everybody, welcome to SETTA'S Place. Today's video is cake up some yarn with me. I was trying to figure out how to say that. But anyway, this is my temperature blanket yarn and I don't need the great big pieces of it in my bag. So I'm putting the, hold on, let me get my beautiful basket. I'm putting the extras in here. So when I'm cake up the size I want, I'll put the extras in here. Wait a minute, this is the same color. I don't need, I've got double of this. Of course, I got extra purple. And yeah, so let me see. So I just need a little bit of the purple. So I'll use the one that's already started. I'll make a cake of that one. But anyway, and then I'll put the big one back in here and I'll cake up to go in the bag where I keep my project. Okay, so what I figured I would do was show off my electric winder here. Let me get the plug in like that, and then maybe answer some questions that were in the comments or just read comments, because I hadn't had a chance to do a lot of talking in the comments. I tried to do some things, and I answered a few questions here and there over the last month, but you know how it is. So I said, well, maybe I'll answer some questions while I am winding up some yarn. This one, see how messy it is? It's like, okay, here we go. Now, let me find my center. Here we go. Now, it might be too loud for me to talk while it's winding for video purposes. So I might do a voiceover and just read, excuse me, read some comments. With this weather, my voice has been like, so hopefully I can do the voiceover. Okay, so I gotta remember how to do it. It's very easy. Oops. I'm really enjoying this. This was a sent to me from a company, and I did the video. And y'all, that video, I'll try to put that video in the description box if you want to see how it, you know, everything about it. But I do have a link in the description box if you want to check it out. Because when you use my links for this kind of things, it helps me out too. And yeah, so I have that in the description box. All right. So we shall see. Let me see how loud it is and see if I need to just do a voiceover. Okay. I started a little slow to make sure it catches good. I love it. I don't know if that's too loud to talk over. It's better than having to do the other ones that you have to crank with your hand, and you just kind of make sure the yarn doesn't get bounded up, and just keep it going. And it plugs in, so you just not using my long cord. It comes with one, but I have a long one that I like to use. It's purple, of course. So cool. So like I said, I'm gonna start answering some questions. I probably would do a voiceover, because I feel like if I talk too loud, because this room is kind of empty, the house is still putting it together, I might sound like I'm in a can if I talk too loud. So hopefully y'all can hear me. So I will just do the voiceover and answer some questions while we yarn up this yarn. Cake up this yarn. All right, here we go. Getting yarn fibers. Okay, everybody, I am going to be reading the questions from this various different the videos I have in my app, where it just gives me everything that contains a question. So from the video where I show the yarn that I'm making my rug out of, from Tammy, she says, "Hello, Setta. I'm new here. Question, can you make washcloths with cotton blend yarn, or does it have to be 100% cotton?" She says, "Thanks." Well, I'm not an expert, but I would recommend using the 100% cotton as for washcloths. Now, I do believe you can use the cotton blend, when it's the acrylic and the cotton together, but you just have to be careful. But you just have to be, I had a ding, y'all. Did y'all hear that? But anyway, like if you have a blend of cotton and wool or cotton and acrylic, you just have to be careful because like one might shrink more than the other when you wash it or dry it, or and something like that. Because I have done washcloths or mug rugs, which have, you put a mug on it, it might be wet on the bottom, in a different yarn. I will do that because I'm just crazy like that. But I also know there's a possibility that it'll shrink wrong, or the cotton might, the wool might. Anyway, you know how wool reacts when you wash it or dry it, or however. But the best option is 100% cotton. But I would use a blend as long as you're careful with it. That's what I would do. But all right. So y'all in the comments, y'all can answer what you would do or how you do yours to help, with that question. Also, let us know what you do. Okay. On my subscriber square blanket video, Chris, hey Chris, she says, "Just love how this blanket is turning out. I saw the peacock square, laugh out loud," because that's the one she sent. And she says, "Could you imagine if every single 14.7 subscribers sent a square the size of the blanket, laugh out loud?" I know, wouldn't that be crazy? Because I have over 14,000, almost 15,000 of you all. And if everyone sent a square, I could make like, how many blankets can I make with that? But I'm just saying, you don't have to send, everybody don't got to send one. But I thought that was so funny. But so all right, she says, "Love you, miss you." You too, Chris. Because me and Chris, we met up when I went to Florida. I went to visit her and her husband, and we had a good time. That was been a couple years ago. Okay, so next question is from Connie. Then Connie has a channel. That's Connie's channel. I now lost it. I know her name, her channel name, but she says, "Do you auction off for charity?" She's talking about the subscriber blanket. This particular one, I do not. I am not auctioning off my subscriber square blanket because that's my memory blanket. That's for me. It's a part, because you all sent it to me. It's like a memory blanket. I have had blankets that I gave to charity. We have had blankets that I have made that we have given to charity, and I'm still continuing to do that with Charity from Frog Crochet. Her name is Charity. There's videos where we put blankets, we made blankets and gave it for charity. And I am going to be working on my traveling friends charity blanket. I can't remember what I called it now. I'm going to start that back up, where I meet people who crochet and I ask them to add to the blanket. And then once it's a size that I want, we give it away to charity. And I know it's confusion. Charity is her name, but you also give it to charity. Give it to a charity. Usually Campers Care is what we've been doing it last year. And but anyway, so this particular one is not for auction. I have never done an auction, but yeah. Okay. Next question. Next question is from, let me see. Let's see. In my year of the baskets, number 7, Debbie, she asked, what pattern did I use for one of the baskets that I made for, number 7? I made up that pattern. I didn't go buy a pattern. I'm planning on, as normal, I tell y'all, I am planning on writing up the pattern and doing a tutorial. So just keep an eye open for that. Hopefully I can get that done in the next couple of weeks. And I just basically did the granny stitch, but in a round. I hear somebody's alarm going off. Hope that does not bother you all. But anyway, okay, let's see the next question. I have someone who watched my tutorial on how to make a magic circle, and from Wanda, she said, this method is the easiest, and I learned how to do it solid granny from me. Oh, thank you. She watched my solid granny tutorial, and she says, thank you. She says, I'm in North Carolina. Do you offer classes? I don't know where you are, but I would love to find other grandmas who crochet, and we meet up and help each other. Thank you again. Now, I am in Texas right now, so I don't have any classes. I would love to do something. I have to figure it out, though. When it comes to that, I kind of thought about doing virtual classes, teach people to crochet and that kind of thing. But I don't know. I have to figure all that out. But hopefully you find somewhere where you can go and hang out with other folks and crochet and have a good time. Okay, let's see. Our next question. From my video where I showed y'all the electric yarn winder, I have a question from Deborah. She says, enjoyed your video. Where do you start your yarn to work a project? So I used to be, I'm mainly a center pull person. I like to pull from the center. But ever since I started using the yarn holders, a friend of mine sent me one, the magnetic, it's like the stick, and you put your yarn down the middle of the hole, and you have to work from the outside because, and then it twirls as you work it, and I am loving that. And I also bought one from my friend Priscilla. Her son was making them. He's a little one, and you put your yarn down on the middle, and it just dangles, and you have to work from the outside. And I am loving doing that. So it all depends on if I'm using one of those holders. If it's just laying in my bag, I like to work it from the center. If I've got it on a holder, I work it from the outside. But I don't see myself anything different in how the yarn reacts. So, but they say that there is a difference, but I haven't seen it myself. So I guess it's just kind of like your preference. But, so anyway, all right. So the next question from someone watched my traditional granny square tutorial, and Texture Knit is her name. And she asked, how do you join them together? She's asking, how do I join my granny squares together? Actually, I use different techniques, and the one I'm liking right now is the invisible join. I like that one. But also, I don't know the name of it, but Crystal from Bangladesh, the way she does hers a lot, I really like that one. And that's not helping you with being on video, but maybe I know it's not giving you a visual since I'm doing audio right now, but maybe I'll do a video showing y'all what I'm talking about. So just keep an eye open for that, of which join I like to use. But I mix it up. Kind of depends on what I feel like. If I feel like in the sewing, using the needle, or if I feel like just doing with a hook and doing it that way. Okay, next question. Kim, she says, hi Setta, did you move again? Yes, I did. Like I said, I am in Texas now. Let's see, next question. She says, Sharon says, hey Setta, have you ever thought about making or crocheting a quilt? I love quilts myself. No, I've never thought about it. Crocheting a quilt. I'm assuming you mean like, since quilts are blocks of different, I don't know, I guess you're saying just putting a bunch of squares together, which is kind of what I'm doing with my subscriber blanket. I don't know. If you are watching this video, elaborate on your question, because I've never heard about crocheting a quilt. Is there something specific about it? Let me know. Okay, next question. Let's see. I have a question from Karen on the Year of the Baskets number 8. She asks, she says, I think the colors really coordinate well. Do you use the plastic basket as a base to cover or crochet through the holes? I use the basket as a base, and I work around it, and then I just stick the basket down in it, and sometimes I might attach the handle around it. But no, I don't go through the holes. I just put it right down in there. Next question is from Cherie, Shari. She says, this is the Year of the Baskets number 6. And she says, so beautiful. Setta, do you hold 2 strands throughout or only on the bottom? So on the bottom of the basket, she's asking, is it just 2 strands or all the way through it? And I hold 2 strands all the way through, from the bottom, up the sides, and to do the edging is 2 strands. Okay, next question. Sharon from the same video says, good morning, Setta. How'd you learn to make your gorgeous baskets? I love them. Thank you, Sharon. I just winged it. I just go by the size of the basket and just form it as I go. And like I said, I'm going to be doing some tutorials, and I will have written patterns available. I just got to get to it. Okay, next question. This one is from Deb. It's when I had the idea about my knitting journey. She says, why don't you just do a live? I'd spend a lot of time crocheting during lives and also have a chance to chat. I like doing lives because I don't want to edit. But it's hard for me to crochet and do a live because I'm trying to read the comments. So I don't get any crocheting done because I'm trying to read the comments. If I had someone here to help me, like I could crochet and they just tell me what's being said in the chat, I might do that. So I might have someone who can help me do that in the future. So we shall see. Y'all see I'm working hard on all these yarn cakes. They are looking so good. I'm looking, my husband walks by, so that's why I'm looking away, and I'm starting to talk to him. And I'm like, okay. But then I'm going to be silly, because you got to be silly. But anyway. Okay, the question is from Tracy B. I think it's about the baskets. No, this is the Yarn and Tea Advent, and I was just showing, some of the projects from the Mosaic Crochet. And her question is, she says, do you carry the yarn along and crochet over the strands you are using? Half and half. Sometimes I do. Majority of the time I will crochet over the yarn. But if you can see the color too much through it, like if the color is white yarn and there's a red yarn behind it, you can see the red more than if it was just 2 dark colors or something like that. Then I will drop it and then bring it back in later when I need it. But majority of the time, I go over top of the color and just carry it. Okay, this question is from the Year of the Baskets #2 from Crafting in Texas. Now, I actually got to meet up with her at a craft or not knitting circle, but we met up at the library with Terry from Yarn Joy Podcast. She picked me up and we went and we had a good time. But anyway, Crafting in Texas, she was there. And so she has a question. She says, "Hi, Setta, are you going to have any baskets on Ravelry? I am planning on writing up the patterns and all that and have them on Ravelry and in my Ko-fi shop." And she says, "I was just wondering the measurements, not necessarily the stitch pattern. Do you make the bottom a little smaller than the actual measurements?" I recommend that you do, even though I did not on some of mine. So do as I say, not as I did. Because some of them were a little loose. But I would recommend making it just a little smaller so it's snugs, because yarn will stretch. She also says, "I seem to do this for a tighter fit." Yes. I will also line the baskets since the holes are on the sides. Yeah, you can also line it like with a piece of fabric, which I had thought about doing. But for what I'm going to be using it for mine, I didn't need to do that because it's going to be my whip projects. So it's going to be like skeins of yarn and whole projects that are going to be in the baskets. So, but that's a good idea if you're going to have, like you said, stitch markers or needles and stuff going through the holes. But mine, I'm going to be using to put projects in, and so I can see what's next, my whip projects or completed projects that I need to do a video for, and things like that, or just to store yarn in it. And I might carry some around, but I'll have that in a notions bag so I don't have to worry about nothing falling through. But that is a good idea to line it. Okay, everybody, I have got a bunch of my yarn caked up, as you can see. I'm working on the purple, the light purple. But I think that's going to be all the questions I answer for right now. I have more yarn I want to cake up, so I'll do more of answering questions like in the next video if more questions pop up and that kind of thing. Okay, y'all, if you're still here, thank you for hanging out with me while I wound, caked up my yarn, and like little snowmen, don't they? So cute. But anyway, so yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed hearing the comments, and I wish I could have more time to just go through and every one of them, but it gets kind of quite a few comments in all the videos. So all right, so if you stayed to the end, thank you for hanging out, and but yeah, I guess I will see you in another video. I will talk to you later, and have a blessed day. Yarn up some, or ball up some, no. Today.